For the past 2 years, we've been travelling full-time, living on the road, crossing borders non-stop, and visiting over 40 countries together. And after all of that, these 7 places are the ones we'd go back to in a heartbeat. We're talking about a freediving town on the Red Sea that feels like Bali meets Sri Lanka, a surf village tucked into the jungle where time slows down and nothing feels forced, and Greek islands that are quieter, cheaper, and more beautiful than the famous ones. These are the 7 places that surprised us with their people, food, landscapes, and energy in ways we never expected, and one of them might be your favorite next trip. First up, one of our most favorite countries, so much so that we are actually heading back there this year. We are so excited. Sri Lanka. We were blown away by this beautiful country. We stayed for 5 weeks in the end and just fell in love with the entire country, the food, the people, the experiences, so much to do, beautiful beaches. And you will definitely, no doubt in our mind, absolutely love Sri Lanka. We would recommend spending majority of your time down the south coast of Sri Lanka, where you'll find the most beautiful beaches, and the best time to visit that area is from December through to April. Keep in mind that Sri Lanka has 2 separate rainy seasons, so anytime from April onwards down south you will start to get a bit of rain. But honestly, we were there in May and we had a few rainy days and it was actually quite perfect.
It was pretty much perfect the whole time. We had like one rain out when we were at that bar, Dot's Bar, and then that was about it.
It was fine, honestly, and there were less crowds. It was a little bit cheaper, so we actually recommend probably traveling like April, May in the shoulder season, and then from then onwards it does get really quite hectic in rain and probably wouldn't recommend it. Areas that you want to stay in Sri Lanka, there are just so many as well, all down the south coast. I'm just going to name a couple and you can check these out on your own. Gore Fort is really, really cool. We had a fun day there. Unawatuna we loved, and definitely check out Turtle Beach there too. Hungama, Marissa, Wellagama are all of the beach towns kind of really close together. We actually stayed in Wellagama. That was great because it was central to Hungama and Marissa, so you could kind of, visit them daily if you wanted to. And then, of course, our favourite, Hiriketia. The best place ever.
No doubt.
No doubt.
While we were here traveling around the south coast, we tried some of the best food we've had in a while. They have some epic restaurants along that coast. This one you should check out is called The Cliff, and that's in Wellagama, I think. And the food is okay there, but the view is spectacular. Stunning. I think you might have to book. We booked and it was definitely worth it. And then obviously when you come to Hiriketia, our favourite place, there are so many cool restaurants. One, Raz. Raz is like this beautiful one right on the cove, and you can watch the sunset. Epic curries, it's fantastic.
So yum.
Smoke and Bitters as well. That was owned by the same people, and they have awesome cocktails. It's in a cool spot. Also great for the sunset, right? And then this one other one, there's many others, but this one other one, Rice and Spoon. This is in Ahangama. We stumbled across this one night when we were trying to go to this other restaurant and it was closed. And we stumbled here and it was this little family's home. And we ate there and they were so nice, so lovely. Everyone in the family was serving us and the food was amazing.
So good. Such a good experience.
Such a good find, I reckon.
Like immaculate service. They were so excited that we were there. We were like the only ones there too, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, so go check them out.
After you're done with the south coast, definitely head inland up to Ella and catch the famous train. It is so beautiful. You can catch the train all the way from Ella up to Kandy. We actually didn't stay in Kandy. We went straight to Dambulla so we could check out Sigiriya Rock, which was absolutely fantastic, and definitely recommend doing that too.
Yeah. When you do go to Sri Lanka, you can expect to spend on local meals about $3 to $5 USD. For Western meals, about $6 to $10. Your mid-tier accommodation can range between $25 to $40. Your drinks out are like $2 to $5 for local drinks, and then obviously mixed drinks and things like international alcohol are going to be a bit more expensive. And then the transport is actually pretty cheap if you go public, so $5 to $10, but it's going to be a bit more if you get a private car, which Abby and I do recommend doing because it is much easier rather than you traveling so far. So you can expect to spend every day per person around $50 to maybe $100, depending on what you like. Number 2 is Seoul in South Korea. Now, we didn't trip around any other parts of South Korea because we actually just went there to do a bit of a visa run to go back to Thailand. But Seoul ended up being a real highlight for us that year, and it is amazing. The best time to come here is April to May or September to October. We actually ended up being there in November, which was absolutely fine. It was just a bit colder. So you just had to bring a jumper, which we didn't have because we were coming from Thailand. But the reason why this city was so fun is because there were so many things to do, and they just know how to do everything at such a high level. Like, the streets are clean, the food is immaculate, the cafes are fantastic. We got to experience some really cool things. Like, we went to the Hanbok village, which is something you should do. And you can dress up in traditional South Korean clothes.
So much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. We looked really, really good, I reckon. Pretty stylish.
Definitely. Walk around the city, and there's so many people doing it as well. You get free entry into all the castles. So yeah, definitely do that. It was so good.
A couple of other things you can do is you can go check out the Starfield Library. You might have seen this online. It's pretty aesthetic library and a really cool place to see. And then you can go get the best view of the city from the Seoul Tower, and it's pretty spectacular 360 views, so you can check that out. And then finally, this other cool thing that we did, which is like a local experience, you can go and eat ramen noodles on the Han River. And we found out about this because apparently it's in lots of K-dramas, like these, Korean dramas. And they always go there and make the ramen at the convenience store and then go eat it on the river, and we just had the best time ever.
Yeah, it was like $2 and you can make your ramen and pick and choose all the things you want to add, and then you just add hot water and stir. It was just so fun.
It was
something
really
so
fun.
Simple but really, really fun. And then the ramen was so delicious.
Yeah, and we added all these little bits to it.
Yeah,
it was sick.
It was awesome. So one of the things that we loved the most about Seoul was the food. Honestly, it was so delicious. Everything we ate, we were just blown away. We did an amazing food tour as well. We'll actually might link our complete food tour YouTube below because that was so much fun, and we definitely recommend checking that out. Another restaurant that we went to was Hanmyeok Korean barbecue. So freaking good. We ate so much food. The service was fantastic. Definitely book this in though, I think, because we might have walked in at lunchtime at like 2 p.m.
Yeah, we went at the most random time, and it was like our first meal, and we were like, loved it.
So good. And then you cannot visit Seoul without checking out Ikseon-don and going cafe hopping. It's just these cute little alleyways all in the city, and there's just so many different cafes, amazing coffee, but they really specialize in like cakes and pastries, and it was just awesome.
While you're in Seoul, you can expect to spend around $7 to $12 for a local meal, around $15 to $25 for a nicer meal, and then your mid-tier accommodation, what we paid was about $50 to $80 per night. Drinks are just going to be your average price for like $5 to $8, and your transport is actually pretty well priced when you get an Uber, so $5 to $10 and gets you pretty much anywhere. So you can expect to spend anywhere between like $80 to $120 per day per person.
Number 3 is a beautiful town on the Red Sea in Egypt. Oh my gosh, Dahab is one of the best places that we have been in our entire travels. We loved it so much. Really fun culture. They are known for free diving there. So you might have seen the documentary, we'll pop it up on the screen here, about the free diving that they do in Dahab and how that became quite famous. So there's a place there called the Blue Hole, and that's where a lot of people, free dive all the way down. We didn't do any free diving, obviously, but you can snorkel there, and it's just, it's an awesome vibe. Kind of reminded us of like Sri Lanka / Bali, like if they were to have a baby and like be in the desert randomly.
Yeah, it was just like a hippie boho town, wasn't it? Yeah.
Awesome cafes, and honestly the best food that we had in all of Egypt. Some places that really stood out to us were Zanuba slow cooking. If you go to Dahab, do not miss this. You actually have to message them the day of that you want to go, 7 hours before your booking. So
at least, because then if you want to get the brisket or whatever,
that takes like 24 hours.
24 hours, so you got to pre-order.
You got to pre-order what you want. So I messaged them on WhatsApp and was like, hey, can we come tonight like 8 p.m? And I messaged them at like 11 a.m. Ordered what we wanted, and then it was just fantastic. It all came out with like flaming hot things, and it was just so good. Another one was Naweem. This was kind of a mixture between like Mediterranean and
Asian,
I don't know, and Egyptian, I don't know. It was just fantastic. Honestly, so many amazing curries and salads, and the service there was just impeccable as well. We were actually so surprised about how cheap Egypt was, especially Dahab. You can expect to pay around $2 to $4 for local meals. If you are going to a bit more of an upmarket restaurant, like the ones we did mention, you're probably going to pay around $6 to $10. Mid-tier accommodation, which is what we paid. We had an Airbnb in Dahab for 4 of us, and I think we paid like $40 a night, which was just absolutely crazy. Drinks are around that $2 to $5 mark, and then transport is also super cheap. So you're looking at around that $5 to $10 mark, which is a total of around $40 to $65 a day in Dahab, which is unreal.
Number 4 is one of the first places we went to when we moved overseas, and that is Costa Rica. I loved it. We loved it.
The vibe was awesome.
The vibe was sick. The surf is incredible. There's lots of cool cafes and things to do. Food's really, really good. But we stayed in one place that we loved probably the most was Nasara. Nasara is kind of like a small surf town, just really laid back. Everyone gets around on like little mopeds and stuff.
Or like four-wheelers.
Four-wheelers, yeah. And it was just a really, really nice vibe. We also went to Santa Teresa, which we also really, really loved.
Yeah, we wish we had longer there because I think we only had like 3 nights.
Yeah, and it wasn't enough.
And one of those days we accidentally left our laptops. 5-hour drive. We were inland at a place called La Fortuna, and we stayed there the night before, left our laptops there by accident. I did, my fault. And we got all the way to this town, which was 5-hour drive, and then realized we left them. So Tice and I spent the whole next day basically going back and forth. So we missed a whole day there, which was so annoying, but
what are you going to do?
It is.
Sometimes you make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Santa Teresa were just really cool because it's probably one of the most beautiful sunsets we've seen, and that beach goes off. Like there's surf all day there, and then everyone's out and about, like playing soccer, doing whatever, surfing, just hanging on the beach. Fun. Yeah, it's really, really fun, and young sort of vibe. One thing though to note was like we went out for dinner and stuff, and surprisingly, Costa Rica is quite expensive.
It's very expensive. Coming off the back of where we had been previously, which was Guatemala and Mexico, it was like more expensive than Mexico, which was just wild. Yeah.
So while you are in Costa Rica, you can expect to spend around $8 to $12 on local meals. And your restaurant meals, so if you went out for a Western style meal, $15 to $25. Your accommodation is going to be anywhere between $50 to $80, sometimes more for just your mid-tier accommodation. Drinks $6 to $10, and your transport $10 to $20. So definitely much more expensive. You can be expecting to pay about $90 to $150 per person per day. And when you do visit Costa Rica, the best time to visit is from December to April. We went about that time and it was honestly perfect. Sun shining every day.
No rain.
No rain. We weren't worried.
All right, number 5 is honestly probably one of my favorite places, and I've probably said this about everything, but honestly, this place I've been twice, and then I loved it so much that I took Tice back, but I was like, we have to go back because we were over that side of the world. But Guatemala, honestly, it is such an underrated country. If I could say one thing about Guatemala, it's that it's underrated, because I think it's got a bit of a bad rap that it's a bit unsafe, or there's a bit of violence and crime, and while that might be true in maybe some areas, there's just so many parts of Guatemala that are just stunning, safe, fun, just such a good vibe. And those 2 places are Antigua and Lake Atitlan. Yeah. Antigua is about an hour from the main airport, and it's this small little colonial style town with like cobble streets and low-rise buildings. So it's just magical. And there's a volcano in the background that
there's multiple
that you can hear erupting and you can see them.
Yeah.
So we would definitely recommend spending a few days there. Also, one of the best things that we did was hike Asatenango volcano, and you can do that. We did it through a company called Wicho and Charlie's. They take you for a night. You hike to base camp, watch the volcano erupting overnight, and then hike back down.
That was honestly
It was awesome.
Better than I expected.
It was really,
better
really
than
cool.
I expected, and like you are watching it and like seeing lava light up the sky during the night, and you just don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah, every night, and then you go to sleep. You're in this like tent or in a cabin, just like listening to it erupt all night, and it was really, really special.
Yeah.
And then another thing that you have to do in Guatemala is go to Lake Atitlan. This is about a 3-hour drive from Antigua, and it's a massive lake surrounded by like 3 volcanoes. videos as well. And there's just towns on all along the lake, and basically to get to and from the towns, obviously you can drive around if you want to, but there's like boat services, so you can jump on little like tinny boats, and they take you, and you spend like $2 and they take you all across the little towns. And we stayed in like one main one and then just did day trips to all these different like San Marcos, San Pedro, and it was just so much fun.
And
Food
each
was
one
great.
has like a different kind of vibe.
Different vibe, yeah.
And we had lots of good food there, and it was funny because you just go to this lake in the middle of Guatemala, and it's got all these cool things and you can't really believe it.
One thing to note as well is that Guatemala is quite affordable, especially, comparing it to Costa Rica. You can expect to pay around $3 to $5 for local meals. If you go to a nicer restaurant, which there are definitely some in Antigua and Lake Atitlan, you can spend anywhere from about $6 to $10 per meal. Mid-tier accommodation is around $25 to $40 a night. Drinks might cost you around $3 to $5, and then transport again might be around that $5 to $10 mark, of course, depending on where you are going, which brings you to around a total of $45 to $70 a day. One thing to note as well in Guatemala is Ubers are so cheap. We caught an Uber from Lake Atitlan all the way to Antigua. It was like 3 hours and it cost us like hardly anything. The best time to visit Guatemala is very similar to Costa Rica in summer, which is going to be that December through to April mark.
Number 6 is Albania. We spent a full month here, didn't we? And we traveled in August, and we traveled all the way around, and the best times is May to September. They do say August can be really, really hot, but to be fair, it was perfect while we were there, so maybe don't worry about that.
I think the week before there was a massive heat wave,
though,
so I think it can depend, obviously.
So if you are worried, then avoid August, but otherwise, we had such a good time, there's no doubt. There's a couple of things that we definitely recommend you to do. So there's a hike in the north near the mountains, so it's called the Valbona to Teth hike. And this was really, really incredible. So easy for anyone to do. You can do it in a day. And you stay at little Airbnbs or like B&Bs along the way. There's cafes on the hike and you get some spectacular views. And you don't really need to worry about bringing food or anything because there's lots of cafes that you can go buy food along the hike.
It also only took us 4 hours when people said it was going to be like this 8 to 10 hour trek. So we were like, oh my God, we're going to bring all this food. But it was fine.
It was absolutely fine. And then you can check out, there's these blue eyes. So these natural springs that bring up water, and you can go swim in the one in Teth. The water is freezing.
So cold.
But
I didn't get in.
It was pretty cool to see. Like, that water is so blue. These rivers are like incredibly beautiful. And then obviously you need to go check out the coast of Albania because that coastline is so nice. One of the places we loved the most was called Himara, and it's a cute little beach town. Very, very like small, but it has all these restaurants and things you can do, and the beach is really cool, and then you can go hire boats and do that sort of stuff if you're there. And then you can go check out Saranda or Samil. If you're at Saranda, go and enjoy the sunset at the castle. You're going to have a really, really nice time. Get there early.
Like 6 p.m.
Yeah, so you get the banging seat, and you won't be disappointed. And most of you, if you do fly into Albania, you'll arrive in Tirana, and we would actually recommend staying there for a couple of nights because Tirana, the city, it was great. It was
awesome city.
There's lots to do there. One place that you have to go to is Ira. If you've seen our videos before, you know this place makes this pie, this slow-cooked pie.
So good.
The best thing
Still
ever.
dreaming about it.
Still dreaming about it. So go check that out. And otherwise, just check out all of our videos on all of these places.
Yeah.
And we go into depth about what you could do.
So we'll link them below as well.
Another good thing about Albania is it's actually quite cheap too. So if you go get a local meal, you can pay anywhere between $3 to $5 for the local meal, and you get quite a lot of food. And then for your Western meals, you're going to get like $6 to $10. That's for a nice like restaurant meal. Mid-tier accommodation, still cheap, $20 to $35. Your drinks, only $2 to $4. Transport is $5 to $10, and like hiring your car, which we recommend you do, is quite affordable. Maybe like $20 to $30 or 20 to 30 euro per day, and then that brings you to like a total of $40 to $65 USD per day per person.
And then lastly, of course, we could not make this list without mentioning Greece, but we are going to tell you specific islands that we recommend going to that are a little bit, I mean, they're not off the beaten track. They are very, very popular still. But I think when you think of Greece, most people think of the Cyclades, you think of Milos, Paros, Santorini, Mykonos, all of that sort of stuff. But we are taking you to the Ionian Islands instead, in particular, Lefkada and Kefalonia. We spent 2 weeks here, and especially Lefkada.
Yeah.
The best Greek island that we have ever been to. It is our number one. Firstly, it just has the most bluest water that you will ever see.
Electric blue.
Electric blue. Like, we first saw this, we were driving to a restaurant, I think, and we stopped on the side of the road there was like a milk bar. It was a convenience store, a little cafe viewpoint. There's so many people there, we're like, we have to stop. Had a beer and just overlooked like the cliff and the blue water, and we were just there for like half an hour, just like gobsmacked at how blue it was. So if you love beaches and if you love like water and crystal blue water and like the aesthetics of that too, you will absolutely love Lefkada. Another thing that we loved about it was that it's like this kind of perfect mixture between a little bit bougie. It's kind of got like Melbourne style like restaurants and bars and cafes that are kind of like a bit up more market, but then it's also got the authentic Greece and really like laid back kind of vibe. So we would definitely recommend checking out Ratchi. This was really cool. It's next to another place called Fly Me to the Moon, and they're kind of owned by the same people. Ratchi is a restaurant, Fly Me to the Moon is more of a bar, but you could go there and just hang there for the afternoon and just have some of the best food that you will eat probably on your Greece trip, honestly. One beach that we absolutely loved as well was Ergameni Beach. It was just stunning. We actually stayed in 2 areas in Lefkada as well. One was in the main port area, and the best thing about Lefkada, well, not the best thing, but one of the cool things is it's actually attached to the mainland, so you can, and it's attached by a boat.
Yeah.
So we went out for dinner one night and went onto the mainland, and we got on our scooter and drove across like inside a boat and then onto the other side. Yeah. So that's pretty cool as well. You can easily drive there from Athens. It takes about 4 hours.
Actually, if you do want the best barbecue, then I would suggest you do drive onto the mainland, because just as you drive onto the mainland, there's these 2 places. One is called like Nikita's, and there's another one, Nico's Tavern, and there's another one. And the food is so good.
Yummy.
The meat is wild. It's definitely not one to miss. And the little town there is quite cute, but then when we stayed on the other side of the island, it was so quiet, like more like a fisherman's village. So 2 different kind of styles, hey.
The best time to visit Greece is in the summertime, so anytime from May through to September, but you are going to get a lot of crowds during that like July, August. We went in May and we also went back in September. Perfect. Less crowds. It's kind of shoulder season, but you still get really warm, beautiful days. Can get a little chilly at nighttime, but you know, worth it.
Absolutely.
One thing to note about Greece though is that of course it's in Europe, so it is a little more pricey, unfortunately, compared to like Albania and places like that, but worth it because you're going to have the best trip. Local meals you can get for around $5 to $7. Your taverna meals might cost you around that $12 to $20 per dish. Mid-tier accommodation is probably going to be around that 45 to 70 USD a night, maybe even closer to that 100, sometimes depending, of course, where you want to stay and how bougie you want your accommodation to be. Drinks are going to cost you around that 6 to 10 mark, and car rental is probably going to be around that 10 to 20 or even maybe up to 30 euro a day as well. Looking at a total spend of around 75, probably to about 120 a day USD per person.
So that wraps up our top 7 places to travel this year. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this. We've got heaps of videos coming out, and check out all the ones we've done on these places if you want to plan your itinerary or get the best tips on the best restaurants and stuff to do. Also check us out on Instagram here, because we're very active on there and we answer people's questions every single week, and you get a bit of behind the scenes, which is fun. And then that's about it.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Cheers.